shop. My name is Brad. Today's video is kind of a mixed bag here. I got a lot of thanks in order here. From last week's video, I got such an incredible amount of positive feedback from everybody, and I just wanted to say thanks. I couldn't even have imagined that you guys would have liked all the studio stuff and even the photography stuff. So the good news is it was really like a poll to see if there was any interest, and there's an overwhelming amount of interest. So from time to time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some some music and recording videos in there, and maybe some photography stuff, adding the extra content to make the channel a little bit more interesting. So in terms of again, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody before I jump onto another topic. It was just really nice to see that everybody cared so much about it, and beside all the the yes, we like it kind of stuff, everybody said a lot of just really nice down to earth stuff. So thank you, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. So for the shop move, you've been watching the shop move. Painting, you saw that the painting was a bit of a disaster at first, the walls. We got that all fixed up, and you could see that in the latest video. The walls are taken care of, and the base and the bottom and stuff like that. So I kind of feel bad, I haven't been really shooting any kind of shoppy kind of videos, any kind of machining or nothing, but it's just, hang in there. It's just a bit of a transitional period here. I just been trying to get that all done before it gets cold, so it's in the past couple days has shown me that the cold weather is definitely on its way. It's today's Sunday morning, Labor Day weekend. I went outside this morning, while my coffee was brewing, and it is, you need a sweatshirt already. There's dew on the ground and everything, so that transitional September weather is upon us. I'd gone down the shore yesterday, down to Seaside Heights, New Jersey, of all places, and I was wondering why I got down there so fast. I got down there from Pennsylvania to Seaside Heights in a little over an hour and a half. There was no traffic, there was no nothing, because they're preparing for a hurricane over there. There was news vehicles over there, the wind was blowing and stuff like that, and I got some some pictures that I'll show of that. So anyway, back to the shop kind of stuff. So the shop is coming along, definitely coming along. This week coming up, as as we march into this week, I'm going to finish doing the last wall. It's the little tiny little strips of area to be painted between the two garage doors, and then I hope this week I could go out and get the sub panel and all the materials for that. Okay, so the next thing I would like to talk about is the shirt campaign. First off, thank you to everybody who bought a shirt. I can't believe it. I sold about 18 shirts. My goal that I set was 10. I just figured a couple people would get some shirts. I myself bought 3 of them, 3 out of the 18, because I wanted a couple of shirts. So it'll be really cool to finally get to wear a Maple Lane shirt around the shop here. And it'll be real cool to see you guys in them too. So thank you, absolutely thank you for them. I did launch another campaign. Now, again, forgive me on this. This is the first time I'm doing this. Some of the guys on the Facebook page were writing to me saying that I didn't have enough size choices, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So I was talking to Adam about it, and he was telling me how you got to contact the people there if you want to offer like a pocket t-shirt, like he does a pocket t-shirt, stuff with writing on the back. I know Teespring does writing on the back, like right up front. So long story short, I launched another campaign that I'm keeping going to the end of the end of this month. It's going to be running until September 21st. It goes all the way up to 5X. In size. I offered pink shirts, right, to show some love for the Pinky Vice. I also, what's nice about Teespring is you could just click and add a bunch of different products, right? Product lines. So there's hoodies, there's long sleeve shirts, and ladies t-shirts. I don't know how many lady fans that I have out there watching my shop videos, but you know, if there are, then you have some personal choices, you know, in some girly colors, right? Purples and pinks and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought the long sleeves and the hoodies would be good because of the fall. You know, it's coming that time of year again, and cold days in the shop are upon us soon. So anyway, a couple actually sold on that campaign. So thank you to the people who bought them. Truly thank you. And you know, the campaign will stay open until the 21st. So you know, if you don't have a shirt, go get one. Go get two. Buy 10. I don't care. That would be great. All right, down to business now. Down to business that I really don't have that much business to talk about shop-wise. But this is the one thing I do want to do, is I want to give like a pilot, sort of like a test run of some of the content for the music side of things. I figured I would go into the studio and show you how to play a Pink Floyd song, and show you how I record it, and you know, and get some sounds and stuff like this. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. There's so much that could be done with studio and music and stuff like that. What direction? What I think I'm going to do is just walk you through, if I wanted to just record a little tidbit of a song. I'll show you the equipment that's used and the settings and stuff to achieve that kind of sound. So without further ado, we'll go over to the studio and we'll check that out. Hey guys, welcome back to the studio, right? So here I'm sitting at the desk at the console, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Pro Tools, which is the recording software, and I'll start a blank session, and I'll show you how we get things going over here. So come over here and I launch Pro Tools. Alright, we got the camera set up kind of looking down over my shoulder here. So what I'll do is I'll hit New Session, and we'll create a blank session. We'll put it in my studio drive under my subfolder Covers. We'll call this one Shine On. And this is going to be Shine On You Crazy Diamond from Pink Floyd. And again, I know little bits and pieces of the song. At one time I used to know the whole song. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of instruments that, you know, I'm not going to be playing today, but I just want to show you how to get the guitar sounds, and you know, just show you a walkthrough on how we're achieving this, right? So we'll set up the session. Alright, so I need a couple new tracks, so I'll say, oh, here we go, new tracks. I don't know, I'll give myself 4 new audio tracks. I'll give myself a stereo, something called an auxiliary return, so we can load up some effects and send those effects to any track that we want. So I want, for now, we'll do 1 stereo auxiliary input, and then we'll do 1 stereo master fader. Alright, so we've created the session here. For this one, I'll call this Guitar 1. Whoop. Alright, we'll just call this one Guitar 2. This one is our reverb, and obviously that one is master for now. So so for reverb, what I'll do is, and again, this is not a full comprehensive Pro Tools tutorial. I'm just kind of walking you through a little bit how this is done. We come over here, we select something called a plugin, and I want to use a plugin called Reverb 1. So here's our plugin, and we'll choose a preset. I think I got some nice presets. Where is it? Over here. Where is it? Nice Room. We'll try Nice Room. And then we want to set a send on this guitar track. So this guitar track right here is gonna be where my guitar is getting recorded onto. But I want to, in this section over here, this is called the send section. This send can send to any auxiliary input. So you're really splitting the signal basically between two you know, in two directions. You're preserving your dry signal, and then you're sending a copy of that through the process, you know, through this channel. It'll hit the reverb and come down, and then you can add in or take away how much of the wetness. It's called, you know, wetting up the signal. Yeah, let's send this through a bus. I have some preset you know, bus channels here called drum reverb, so don't worry about the name, it's just a naming convention. So basically I'm telling this track to send it to this channel as well, and I got my fader here to do that. Alright, so now we want to set up the actual inputs and outputs to receive signal. So if you remember in the last video, I explained that all of my outboard gear gets wired to the back of this patch bay, and then you have the front of the patch bay, and like an old telephone operator, you can reroute things and all that sort of stuff. So I created a map here that shows, you know, what blocks, what sections are what over here. So basically in my live room over that direction, I have a big box that you plug microphones into. It's called a snake. So I need to find, you know, I'm going to be plugging my microphone into input 1. So I need to find where input 1 is on here and then send it into Pro Tools 1. This is input 1 from the live room, and it's wired to input 1 for Pro Tools. So technically we don't really need to do anything. Alright, here are my mic preamps. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then down here is 7 and 8. That's right. I kind of forgot where my place was here. This is a little real inexpensive one. It's not even bolted in, but again, we have 8 inputs. So basically, why do I need 8 inputs? Obviously, you don't need 8 microphones for a guitar, but it's really for drums. So if you're tracking drums and you have your drum set up and you want to mic it all up with kick drum, snare drum, toms, overheads, all that sort of thing, you can record all of them at one time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the live room, we're going to set up a microphone on the amp, and then we'll come back here and we'll get some sounds. Alright, so for this song, it's not crazy, we're not rocking out, there's not a lot of distortion or nothing like that. We're going to use the Fender Deluxe Reverb. Now, one of the things a lot of people don't realize that is in a studio, they use amps like this, these smaller amps, because they get really big sounds from them. And, you know, Shine On You Crazy Diamond is a nice clean tone, so you don't need a big loud stack of Marshalls and stuff like that. So a lot of people think that, you know, they see Jimi Hendrix with the loud stacks, but one of the facts that a lot of people don't realize, for instance, right, we know Jimi Hendrix used all those big Marshalls on stage. He was famous Marshall user. But the song Little Wing was recorded on a Fender amp just like this in the studio, because you just don't need those loud tones for that. So I've got a microphone called an Audix microphone, just kind of boomed in here. I'm not getting too crazy with mic placement. There's a whole science with mic placement, believe me. It's the same thing to proper milling technique or lathe technique. You don't just slap any piece of steel, any piece of high-speed steel, and expect to cut any type of metal. Same thing with this. You don't throw any microphone in front of an amp at any distance. But because we're just going through a quick little test, I'm not going to get crazy. The craziest I'll get is, I don't know, I'll keep the mic, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches away and slightly off center of the cone. Just slightly off center. So now I'm going to plug this cable into the snake in input 1. Here is the snake. We got the inputs 1 through 16, so I could put 16 microphones on here and 4 1/4-inch jacks. So microphone goes into input 1 on the snake. So I come over here, I go and I do my assignment for input, I'm sorry, and I choose input 1, and I arm it for record. So it looks like we got some sounds now. Alright, we got the pedal board plugged in, and of course we got a Fender Stratocaster in hand. Now, David Gilmour was predominantly a Stratocaster player. Most of the Pink Floyd stuff you hear is Stratocaster. There is a few exceptions where he used different guitars on different recordings, like for instance the guitar solo for Money. He used a custom guitar to have a custom guitar that had 2 full octaves so he could get a little bit more reach up in the high register. The guitar solo for Another Brick in the Wall, the Hey Teacher, We Don't Need No Education, he used a Gibson Gold Top Les Paul for that. So again, we got the Stratocaster in hand, we're tuned up, and we have just a clean tone, and that sounds like this. Alright, so just nice clean tone. For Shine On You Crazy Diamond, you can hear a little bit of a drive, little tiny bit of a bite. So for that, I'm going to put on a pedal called a boost pedal. So it turns your signal from this to this. Gives it a little bit of bite, gives it a little bit of drive. Of course, we're not gonna really like get down on it and be that dynamic. We're gonna play soft and gentle. And the other thing, the signature sound is a pedal called a phaser. All right, so if I put that on, it has a swirling effect. And again, I'm not going to get into the science of it, but it's a swirling effect, and it's got one knob, and it's basically the rate of speed that it swirls at. So I'll turn it up really exaggerated so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So here's the signal without the phaser. And with the phaser, so you could hear it swirling. Alright, so Shine On You Crazy Diamond, it has a slow swirl, slow speed. So you could hear just a slight amount of movement, but it's very slow and not so pronounced. So here we go. Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Actually, I like to dial that in a little bit better. I think the swirl is a little too fast. You don't hear it that pronounced on the record. So we'll put the the rate at about 9 o'clock. Try that now. Before I play that, just want to show you how to do it. It's the let's see, 4th string on the 8th fret, and it's the 2nd string on the 6th fret. All right, and again, I apologize for anybody who who knows how to play guitar. These are your frets: frets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so forth. And your strings start from the bottom and go up. So this is string 1 through 6, respectively. So again, string 2 on the 6th fret and string 4 on the 8th fret. Now if I pluck it a little bit closer to the bridge, we'll get a different sound, because I know on the record it has a real powerful driven sound. So let's try that now. Now let's move closer to the front pickup and see if that sounds a little bit closer. Now we'll do all 3 sounds. that's Shine On You Crazy Diamond, the main riff from Pink Floyd. So David Gilmour was a big phaser user, right? He loved to use phasers. The one that I have is a MXR Phase 90, which is pretty period correct for that time, for the 70s. So here's another song that Gilmour did. I don't know if I'm playing it exactly right, but it just kind of illustrates the point. Let's turn it up a little bit more. Great. And see if you recognize this one. So, have a cigar. Here's another one, great, everybody knows this song, it's Breathe. The only difference between this and the true album version is Gilmour didn't use a phaser for this song. He used a rotating speaker, which is known as a Leslie. It's an actual speaker that has horns that rotate, and when you put a mic in front of it, you get a Doppler effect. That's pretty much the basic explanation that I know. And it has a real nice swirly, dreamy, ethereal sound. So, something like this. Oh, but I use the phaser to reproduce that because it's kind of close. Again, forgive me, I'm a little rusty on that. And I don't know all the exact chords. I know that the breakdown is a C major 7th to a B minor 7th to an F major 7th, and then we have a G, and then a, I don't know, I forget what this chord is called. At the risk of sounding completely stupid, I call it the Jimi Hendrix chord. It's like a minor 7th, add 9 or something like that. I forget, it slips me. And then this chord, I don't know, but it's a variation of that. You just kind of take your pinky off and it's... Whoop. So it's like... Whoop. So you do G, and then back to that E. It's like an E sus chord. So there you have it. You know, some famous David Gilmour phaser songs. All right, we're back here in the control room, and I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like when it gets recorded. So the microphone is picking up my voice. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can do jumbo. We can make it look big. We could zoom in on our waveforms. It looks like I don't even need to use reverb because, you know, the reverb itself has enough color to it, you know. So that's really it. Now, one of the things that I know I can do with video is, with Pro Tools, is I could get the video, right, that I have recorded in the camera, and I can load it into Pro Tools, and then I could put it up on another track. I could actually do voiceover down here and all kinds of cool little manipulation type things. Well, there you have it, guys. My first musical video showing you how to do a little bit of recording and getting some guitar sounds. I'm sure these videos will kind of stabilize into some kind of a cool and easy to digest format. So I hope you liked it, and please, you know, I'm curious to hear your feedback, what you thought of it, if you like it, if you don't like it. So with that, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and see you on the next one.